Okay, so GitHub Travis CI is still pending, but here's my site. It's a portfolio site. I'm gonna try and get this under 5 minutes. Having trouble doing that, but we can see all the requirements here. So if I type something wrong, it's gonna give me flash data up here. If I type something right, it's gonna give me all the entries in my portfolio site. So logos, UX, ads. So if I go to UX, it's gonna give me my UX example, and then it's going to take me to that UX, and then it's going to say the little description, which this is all in the database, and then you can return home. So returning home, if we want to see user authentication, we can go to administrator. If I type in something wrong, login. Once again, we're going to get that flash data up top. If we have something right, admin, Laravel, login, we're going to get taken to this, our admin page. Go to delete and edit. We can see our CRUD here. I thought about doing an ad, but I didn't really like that. Didn't have any other entries, and it was a little bit weird with all of the image upload, and I just decided against it. But if I want to take something out, say logos, if I say delete, it's going to take me home. We're going to see this flash data deleted. And if we go to administrator, admin, Laravel, log back in, go to delete and edit, we're going to see that it's now gone. There is no logos here. But say I want to edit UX, which you saw earlier, the description on it. I'm going to say, let's do, hey, this is my screencast, period. I'm going to submit that, and it's going to say it worked. So I'm going to go home, design, go to UX. You can see logos is gone. And then we're going to see here that, hey, this is my screencast. So the CRUD is working. Is my API working? Well, if we go to check out my favorite music, you can see all of these, and these are corresponding with the Spotify API. These are my favorite bands, and if you click on it, you're going to get my favorite album by that band, and then you can go back home. And that pretty much sums up my site. So what else do we have going here? You can see I'm using the MVC. Here is my controller with everything in it. I'm using my ORM here. I'm using the query ability here because I felt more comfortable using that for this type of database access. But for my CRUD operations, I really prefer to use the ORM. Then you can see my models here. Main belongs to, has a lookup table, which has many of the main. I'm using my blade syntax here. I made two layouts. The master layout, the entries are 3. The search results. That has all my CSS in it, and then if I go to edit blade, you can see I'm using the blade syntax here, and you really just have it all pretty clean, in my opinion at least. And then if you go to my tests under portfolio test, you can see I have 5 tests, and I really wanted just to test to make sure all the operations were working and that all the buttons were working. There's a lot of buttons going on here, a lot of weird stuff going on. So yeah. It's going to be hard because of the stuff that's been happening with Travis CI. It's kind of messed up these tests. So if I run this real quick, you're going to see 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really quick. But then it tells you all this stuff because of the Travis CI. But I promise those are working. Going through the requirement stuff. It's on Laravel. I showed you the API, MVC, Eloquent. Caching, you can see that it's cached under Spotify PHP, use cache, and then if we keep going, you saw flash messaging. I'll show you the database, 5 tests, blade, server-side data validation, and then finally you can see this, which I used from a previous class just because I forgot to ask you and it was already done, but here's the main with all of the stuff. Here's the lookup, and here are the users. And that's my project.